Okay, I'm only responding to this comment in video form because I want to educate other people on this stat because it's used a lot by men and red pill incel men who don't understand how they came up with this statistic, and it's often misrepresented and misused to try to basically try to say that heterosexual relationships are better or have less violence in them. But mind you, men like this who comment, I'm not expecting to change his mind about anything. If anything, he's probably gonna see this and it's gonna make him more mad and disagree with me more. So, I may have to block him after this, but, we'll see. When people argue with you in the comment section, they're often dysregulated and angry. So that means that their prefrontal cortex, which is what is used for logic and reasoning and critical thinking, is not as lit up when you're in an emotional state, which you are because anger is an emotion. If straight couples though are so great though, then why do 70% of women file for divorce? After we were given the right to divorce, mind you, because we used to not be able to divorce. But yeah, he did not post this comment wanting an actual back and forth conversation and discussion. He posted that as a gotcha. It's the same thing, the same type of statistic I see when men are like, well, men commit, or they have the highest numbers of suicide rates. Whenever we talk about, mental health. And my response to that is, well, women actually commit suicide more. We just don't die from it as often because men and women tend to choose different ways of offing themselves. Men tend to jump off of things, like bridges, or they use a gun. Versus women tend to poison themselves, overdose, or drown themselves. Okay, so in this video, she talks about popular statistics that people tend to misunderstand or use in the wrong context. And a lot of these statistics are statistics that red pill and incel men will use as well.
Statistics that have been misconstrued so bad over time that you might be misunderstanding as well. Starting off strong, people saying that domestic violence rates are the highest in lesbian relationships. That would lead you to believe that the perpetrator, the aggressor, is a woman harming another woman, right? People believe that because the numbers that are thrown around are that 44% of women in lesbian relationships experience physical violence or some form of abuse at some point. Relationships experience physical violence or some form of abuse at some point compared to 35% of heterosexual women. What people fail to mention in that study is that women in lesbian relationships were asked about domestic violence throughout their lifetime for all past relationships with men or women. When you look at that statistic, that 44%, and you look at the actual perpetrators that hurt these women, it's almost all men. Only 1/3 of those women, we're talking about female aggressors. Bisexual women report the highest rate of lifetime domestic violence at 61%, but 90% of that 61% are talking about male aggressors. No, lesbians do not commit more domestic violence than men.